everybody. Welcome to another episode of Artistic Visionaries presents the Entertainment Roundtable. To my left I have
Oral Ellis.
And on my right I have
Cedric Dumornay.
And I'm Anthony Grant. And this week we're going to be covering actors' reels. Now, for those who don't know, a reel is basically a compilation or a mashup of different clips, usually from different shows or movies, that an actor has done in the past, and they put it together to kind of make like a visual showcase for potential agents, managers, future gigs, etc., etc., etc. So today we're going to talk about the importance of a reel, how to make a reel, what you need on a reel, that kind of thing. Cedric, since you've been absent for a while, do you want to start us off on the importance of a reel, or why you feel it's important?
Well, for like a reel, you can use a reel for many different things. You can use a reel to get an agent. A lot of times you can get an agent without a reel, you know, whether it's like through a referral or if you're just great. You can use a reel to to get in the room for casting, right? If they see your work, they'll bring you in, you know, based on what they've seen on your reel, which it can make it harder if you don't have one, because all they see is a picture and they don't know what you can do, what you can't do. Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys ever been like? Would you say like? Obviously, it's like a headshot is like a mandatory thing, but would you guys say that like? Because I've heard some people say like the headshot's the most important thing. And I've heard people say that like a reel is just as important as a headshot. Some people have said that a reel is more important than a headshot a lot of times.
Well,
what do you guys think?
Well, it depends. Your headshot, it is one of the most important. When meeting with agents or managers and stuff like that, they will bring you in with a headshot if you are a development actor. So that means you don't have all the credits and all that stuff. So the headshot would be the tool to help. And then you have actors like from theater. They don't necessarily have stuff on film, so it's going to be hard for them to have a demo reel. So that's where, you know, that's where the headshot and the theater credits would work. But for demo reels, you know, if you're a beginning actor, that's not as important, but you need to be out there trying to book stuff like short films, independent films, web series, and all that stuff, just to have some footage, because with the footage and the headshot, you have a better chance of getting in the room for that audition, or, you know, just as a pitch, even to meet a certain agent, because some agents wouldn't see you if you don't have a reel.
Yeah.
And some agents will. It just depends what agent it is, what audition it is.
I've always looked at reels as kind of like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like, you know, with icings that you don't need it necessarily, but it makes the cake that much better.
Yes.
You know, it's like, for example, it's like if you have a headshot and you have a particular look and your look works for whatever it is they're casting, they're probably going to bring you in regardless. You know, so you're going into that room one or the other because you already fit the look they're going for.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But I feel like when you have a reel and it's a really strong reel, it's like not only do we want to bring them in because of their look, but it's like that one bit they did on that one whatever that they shot makes me want to see them even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like now I'm really gunning to see them for this role.
Yeah, because like in our reels, you know, it only shows what we have done and potentially what we can do as well. So, you know, like, say you haven't really got into that dramatic place yet on your reel.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't done that work, but they see you've done some stuff and they vision like, well, if this person could do that, they should be able to do this.
Yeah.
So the reel, it does help pitch, and it does give them a vision of what this person may or may not be able to do. Yeah. And even with a reel, you don't want to put everything on the reel.
Right.
Because
Well,
as that.
we'll hold that for thought for a second.
Okay. Okay.
The next thing I wanted to ask is, or bring up, what is what do I bring up next? I wanted to bring up what should go on a reel. I've met actors, or I know actors who feel like they can't make a reel unless it's from TV shows, movies, or student or independent films.
Okay.
In my experience, I would say I don't think that's true.
Right.
I think you can make a reel from just about anything. What do you guys think?
Sandra, go.
I don't know. I think if you're gonna make a reel, for example, when I started, my reel consisted of student films. That's all I had. They were great student films, and which is why people sometimes tell you if you're just starting, for example, for people who are here in LA or people who want to come to LA, like schools like USC and UCLA, where some of the biggest filmmakers out here, that's where their kids go, and that's where their family members go to, and their films are great because they have like all these guidelines that they have to follow, and if they don't follow them, then they don't graduate. So I've heard a lot of casting directors say if you really must do student films, go to USC or UCLA. So my reel was with student films, and they were nice. You know, they were, because sometimes you have to be careful with student films because sometimes it's bad.
It's
because
really
they're
bad, or like you never get them back.
Yeah.
Like you never get the footage.
Well, it's not just that too. It's because they're students and they're learning. So that means a lot of times your footage the sound will be terrible, the footage will be terrible, and that, even though it might have been a great experience for you on set, but it will represent you in a bad way. So that's why you have to be careful. So when I started, I had just student films on there, and then I did short films that were really nice, and then like some TV stuff, and yeah. So I think like if you're gonna do it, like the things that you don't want to put are things that like if you watch a reel and you're thinking about yourself, you know.
Yeah, you don't need to put a self-tape on there.
Yeah.
You want to showcase your acting. That's the most important part of the reel. Not where you are or who you're with. When you start a reel, the reel should always start on you, not who are you in the scene with.
No music. Also, don't put music.
Yes. It depends. For your casting sites, you don't want no music on those. Now, for your demo reel, for like, let's say your website, I think that's okay to put music on there because it's entertaining your fans who are going to just look at what you've done so far. So for your fans, that's different, but for your agents and managers and your websites and stuff, your casting sites, no music.
Yeah. Or what did you when you did your reel? What did you have on it initially compared to now, or?
My first reel, I had like short films, independent films, web series, on there, and as I booked like more stuff, I was able to weed some of the stuff out. So I took out a little bit of this, like what wasn't all that good, but it still had some good parts. It still looked good, so I kept it. And then I add the better stuff. So like my TV credit, I put that first. And that's the first thing they see. And as they look through, as they continue to watch the reel as it's going, then they see the other stuff I've done. And those stuff are normally, you can cut it down shorter. So as you grow, as you book more work, you take out some of the stuff that's not that great, and you add some of the good stuff to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's one thing that I learned from a lot of casting directors that I know is a lot of times, and I remember I had this problem, is because I was acting since I was 17, and I had like stuff from like I'm 27 now. I had things when I was 17. You're like, no, take it off.
Yeah.
Because I don't look the same anymore. They said keep it if it's a character, right? If it's a character where you physically look different and you're trying to show casting directors that you can play different, then keep it. But if it's something where 10 years ago, or even like 6, 7 years ago, to take it off because you most likely don't look the same. But yeah,
that's like a child actor still trying to use their material.
Yeah.
Say they were not in the business for a while and they came back and they want to use their stuff from their child actor, like that necessarily wouldn't work. Their credits and experience would work for them getting back in, but not the demo reel.
I'll say for me, like in my experience, and I try to tell like as many people about this as possible, because I know a lot of people try to like, oh well, I don't know what student films to try to book, or maybe I can't get something at UCLA, or whatever the case may be. What really worked for me, especially this year, which you guys both know, it was like I shot my own stuff at the end of last year. I wrote a couple of comedic sketches to show like my funnier side. Went home for a little bit. One of my friends that was really good with like filmography and cinematography, he helped me shoot like a couple of different scenes, and I made that a majority of my reel. And that got me several auditions throughout this course of the year.
Yes.
There's.
Well, based on what he just said,
I'll take you back after you.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that actually before you brought it up. I was like, filming scenes.
Yes. Well, with him creating his scenes and having that footage, that helped him got into the door. Yeah, so some casting directors, they wouldn't even look at you. You have the nice headshots and all that stuff, but they don't even see you because you don't have that reel.
That's true.
And you can't beat yourself up when you just starting out. You can't beat yourself up for that. You know what I'm saying? But still, get out there, try and create some stuff. Shoot your own stuff. Find someone with a good quality camera. Sound and lighting is very important. So find somebody who can help you with that. Shoot some stuff. Get some student films, some web series, whatever it is, and start. We all got to start from somewhere. You know. Go ahead, Mr. Cedric.
What I was gonna say is, so I used to. I've sat in a lot of casting offices where they talk about that, and they say, well, a lot of times, actors who come out here who don't have footage, and so they're like, well, okay, you can go shoot your own scenes, and there's places in LA who do that, like that they'll charge you $200, $100, $300.
What would you call that? The real, like a real doctor or something like that?
No, they're just like, I don't know.
Like shootyourreel.com.
Yeah.
Something like that.
A big one that we use out here called Argentum. You know Argentum?
Yeah, I know
right?
Argentum.
Where you print they print headshots there and people go there to tape auditions.
Yeah, you get like a couple minutes. It's like a line. You stand in line. You pay. I don't know how much it is.
But they'll film scenes. But the thing about that, it looks great. It looks like an amazing short film.
It does. It really depends, though.
It depends.
Because some people do not like that, and some people do.
What I was going to say is that that's why you have to be careful with, if you don't have a reel and you want to go shoot scenes. For example, I have this great friend of mine, Mike. He's a director, Michael Hernandez. And Callie, another friend of mine, Callie. So Callie... So, because Mike is a director, he has access to great cameras and great equipment. He shot some stuff for Cali. So what they did was they actually wrote a short film, not a scene, a short film. And they went out and shot it. But because he has the equipment, it looks great. It looks like something you could go
so he took, short film. He took the scenes from the short film to create his reel. And for her reel. So like, so Callie's
she did it. Callie, she
did
did it on purpose. She went to shoot the short film for the reel. So sometimes like people will shoot scenes
for reels.
And I think
it doesn't work because the story is like no arc to the story.
Or the worst part I've experienced is when the cast director goes, "Oh, can I see that film?" And you're like,
that's just a scene.
That's just a scene. So that's why I always tell like my friends, it's better don't shoot a scene, but just write yourself a short film.
Even if it's 5 minutes?
Yeah, if it's 5 minutes, and shoot that and use that for your reel versus a scene.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, because a lot of I've done workshops and sit in seminars and a lot of people you know, like the casting folks and people behind the scenes, they're like, we can tell when you just shoot a scene. Yeah, we can tell. So it's like, don't do that. Like, just go do a web series, go do a short film, go do something, create something, and take scenes from that and create your reel. Yeah. But yeah, they can tell.
Yeah, and also if you're gonna, I remember there's this guy. His name is Jeff. His name is Jeff Witches. He's an agent at this agency called APA. He's Betty White's agent. I don't know if you guys know who Betty White is. Everyone knows who Betty White is.
Golden Girl?
Golden. And he said, I remember he told me once, he's like, if you're going to make your own stuff, because you don't have, this was like a few years ago, if you're going to make your own stuff and you don't have footage to make a nice reel, spend all your money on sound and edit. He goes, because if you have a film and your sound is bad, people don't want to keep watching. Because it just bothers your ear, you know, you don't want to keep watching. And if it looks bad also with the edit, people also have like a disconnect and they start thinking about other things.
People's attention spans is very short.
Ridiculously low. Except for people that have been watching this series.
Yes, you've been dropping some knowledge, like some knowledge you can't get no place else. People are not going to tell you this stuff, so continue to listen because we've all had experiences, and we're teaching you. What we've experienced out here in LA, and this ain't no joke. It's real life.
I would say, are there any like closing thoughts you guys have about reels? Like, you know what? Reel length. That's always one that comes up.
That is important.
I've been told no longer than a minute. 2 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And that's only if you have quality stuff.
So I'll give you my take on that. This is what I hear from.
How long is yours to begin with?
Mine is 1 minute and 26 seconds.
Okay.
So I've heard 1.5 minutes is great. So you should always have. This is what I from casting directors is that you have 2 reels. You have a speed reel and you have a full reel. So your full reel can be like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. It's for someone who actually wants this. This is after you've met people, after you've gone into casting office and they ask you, they like you and they say, do you have more stuff that we could maybe see? So, oh yeah, I have a full reel. These are for people who actually want to sit down and see what you've done. So they'll sit through 4 minutes because they're interested in you. Versus if you have, I don't know, like you're submitting to an agency or you're being submitted for a role.
Like if it's on your casting site.
Yeah, 1.5 minutes, and they're not even gonna watch a minute. They'll watch like the first 20 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah. So what you have to do for the casting sites, instead of having a reel up there, like these days now, put clips.
Yeah.
So your work is separated. Like, say you're on Blackish, you have your Blackish clip. Yeah. Say you're on Code Black, you have your Code Black clip. You know what I'm saying? You just separate it.
Yeah.
Don't put it all together as a reel. Yeah. And then for your demo reel that you're gonna put on YouTube or whatever, I guess I think it can be whatever. I think it can be whatever.
I know, like, I've seen, especially on YouTube, I don't know why YouTube is like the place where people just like, I'm just letting my reel fly on YouTube. I've seen 5-minute reels, 7-minute reels. It's like, I, as a curious viewer, am not going to watch 7 minutes of you acting.
That's true.
So I can only imagine a casting director.
Well, I mean, unless you really like someone.
Well, I've sat down and I watched somebody reel and it was long. And I caught myself enjoying it.
Okay.
And I was like, this is nice. And then I think if it's a great actor and it's somebody you're interested in, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch it. Now, if you're casting and you don't have them casting folks, they know what they want. When they watch the reel for the first couple minutes, that's why it's good to have your good stuff in the beginning, because most of the times they don't make it to the middle. And they know what they want. They know what they want when they first start watching the reel. Yeah.
And that's why you also don't, when you have a reel, you don't want to put things like, you want to put the stuff that's in your reel or clips of you actually acting. Because a lot of times people will have reels and because they're in a short film, they want to see it. They want everyone to see the short film.
That's true.
But they're sitting playing video games, but it's just, you know, they're playing video games. It doesn't
That's a
show
good point.
anything.
Your reel should
Yeah.
primarily be focusing you for whatever role you might have.
Yeah.
Even
And
if it's a
it
one-liner.
needs to it needs to start on you.
Yeah.
Say you're in what? Just say you're in Insecure. It don't need to start on Issa.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Because the reel is not about Issa.
Yeah.
The reel is about you.
And Issa is already a well-known, famous actress.
Yeah.
So you don't
Just by you being on Insecure, that's good enough.
Yeah.
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 Alright. Well, I think that sums up reels pretty well. I mean, unless you guys have something else that came to mind that you want to add.
His face looks like he has something.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
I'm trying.
he has a smile like, wait, hold on.
I'm trying to think if we're missing anything.
So I gotta make this my comeback episode. I gotta make this for 45 minutes.
I haven't been here for a while, guys. I've been working. Okay.
Yeah.
Been on set.
Okay.
I'm trying to think like what. I don't think we missed
I think
anything.
that's everything.
Yeah.
I think,
We hit all those points.
yeah, make it look good.
Make it look good.
Make it as short film as possible. Make sure
Sound
your audio
white.
is there, your lighting is there. For those who are curious, when I shot mine were mostly done outside, so I can make use of a lot of the natural lighting that the sun provides. If you want to kind of cheat it a little bit and you know, get away from having to like have a lighting person. Now, granted, my friend didn't have access to lighting equipment for some of the inside shots, but you know, if you wanted to do something where it's like you're on a budget and you use your smartphone, you know, shoot it outside.
Oh, when you have a reel, at the end, always. Sorry, we got cut off there. Camera problems. But what I was saying is that a lot of times casting directors ask about at the end of your reel to have either a headshot of yourself or your contact information, because it's like, well, I watched you, but I have no way of contacting you. If you know, it's an extra step to have to go to the email and find your phone number and your email address. It's like right there at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say an email is fine because mostly they do emails. I'm not comfortable putting my number out
Your
there.
number?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll put my email, not my number.
Only if it's like directly to someone, I guess. Yeah.
Or you can include it in the email that you're sending them.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, guys. Once again, on my left, I have
Oral Ellis.
on my right,
Cedric Dumornay.
and I'm Anthony Grant, and thank you for joining us for episode 6.
Oh my God. We've made it to the 6th episode.
Yeah, what you want?